Hello guys, welcome to Crazy Piggy Games. You touch, you buy. Today I'm going to show you how to play Might and Magic Era of Chaos without spending any time. As you can see, I played in AU3. Currently the newest server is in Asia and AU is 92. So you know I have been playing this game for quite a while. And I had played in Taiwanese server too before Ubisoft take it over. So I dare say that I'm pretty well experienced. And as you can see, I'm ranked 21st in the whole server power wise. I'm ranked 25th in the arena. And I'm only VIP 9. So I'm halfway decent in playing this game. We agree? Without further ado, let's get on the topic of how to play this game without spending any time. Now, even though this game is free to play, but the resources they give out for free is just pathetic. Of course, you could still get up there only with all those free resources, but you could never catch up with those players who just buy the resources straight from the store. When you thought you finally almost maxed out a unit, and bang, new contents came out and all of those whales or even krakens just buy everything from the store and max out everything in the same day as the new content went out. Now you have to redo the process of setting up diamonds and resources bit by bit again, and just repeating this process over and over again, and see the difference between you and the top players getting larger and larger to a point when you think fuck this game and quit for good. But don't give up just yet. It is still possible to be the top-notch player without spending any time. Just take a look at this G-0 guy in AU3. He's only V1 and he's ranked 16. He is the legend of our server. Given him a little more money to spend, he's no doubt definitely going to be the number one in our server. And look at this smart guy. He's only V3 and he's right next to me. So how do they do it? The answer is concentrate, concentrate, and super concentrate. Pick 8 units of your favorite and invest all of your resources on them. Do not waste any resources on any units other than the main formation. Right now, they got a lot of new contents that will make any units a good unit. There are no such thing as useless unit anymore. Of course, if you are truly playing the game without spending any time, there are certain units which are preferred over other units, such as if you are playing Gelu, I don't really know how to pronounce his name. Then Danger Guards, Wood Elf, and Marksman are must have in his formation. And if you are playing Crag, Ogre, then Ogre and the Rock is indispensable. But once you have decided which hero you want to play, stick with it and focus everything in developing them. What hurts you the most is wasting your resources on unnecessary shit. So enough bullshit. Let us see what options you got as a V0 player. First, the heroes. In the beginning, you only got Catherine. She's a powerful damage type heroine. Her blizzard not only cause high water damage, but also slow enemies. She will bring you through every stage easily in the first week of the game. But in my opinion, she's not an endgame heroine. Her spell damage seems to taper off when the enemy units get stronger and stronger. As for her formation, of course there is no other choice than the castle units, except Griffin. Currently its exclusive is not out yet, so it is really not that helpful at all. I'd rather replace it with the rock or something and be 100 times more helpful. Next option is Adelaide. She's a very powerful control type heroine, and since her spells all slows or freeze enemies, it's best for you to put all the units who will benefit from slowed enemies, such as Wood Elf and Marksman, and build your formation around these two units. And remember, there is a very important rule of thumb in building formations, which is never put more than 3 factions in your formation. Remember, we had talked about concentration earlier, and that includes factions. Because there is this roster thingy, you get more bonus if your formation is more concentrated. So don't ever put more than 3 factions in your formation. Now next we have Gelu. He's the hero who can generate the highest damage output. In fact, a lot of game contents such as Trial of Angels, Dragon Invasion, Special Temporal, Tunnel, etc. all requires him to get the highest score. And his formation is similar to that of the Adelaides. Build everything around Wood Elf and Marksman. Recommended units for the early stage of the game are Danger Guard, Walking Dead, Angel, Bone Dragon, Wood Elf, Marksman, Ice Elemental, and Pegasus. Now you might have noticed that I violate the no more than 3 faction rules. But remember I say that this is only for the early stage of the game. You can change out the formation later on. Next hero is Crag. He's good for buffing offense type units, so it's better to put 3 defenders and 3 attackers. Recommended units for the early stage of the game are Ogre, Iron Golem, Naga, the Angel, and the Rock, and the other 3 are up to you. Just remember to stay within 3 factions. Now you might wonder why I put 2 tower units in it. It's because Crag almost spell affects all melee units. So it will activate Iron Golem and Naga's Magic Awakening when it was cast, and that's very important for tower units. Now let's talk about Rashka. He's the best hero to use in Dwarven Treasury, and remember, only use his Infernal Flame. Because the way the spell cooldown works is that the system will randomly pick a recovering spell and give it a little boost. So when you only use 1 spell, that spell is inevitably the only spell he can pick, and therefore speed up the time when you can cast it again. Remember, Infernal Flame is the only spell he's going to use when playing in the Dwarven Treasury. But before you acquire him, use Catherine for it and only cast Blizzard. He's really not that good of a hero beside Dwarven Treasury, but if you really want to play him, then of course Inferno is your only choice. But for the current version, Inferno got no powerful damage outputters. The only 2 attackers they got is Piffin and the Devil. But the Piffin is more like a supporting unit than damage dealer. And they nerf the shit out of the Devil, So basically right now the Inferno is just straight garbage. But the Devil is still must have for Dwarven Treasury. So if you want to get any high score in Dwarven Treasury, get the fucking Devil. No ifs and buts. Period. End of discussion. Now, the Solmyr. He used to be a badass hero because his ultimate spell deals percentage HP damage directly. But again, when a free anything get too powerful, the great Ubisoft is going to nerf the shit out of it. Let's have a big hail for Ubisoft. Hooray! But if you really still want to play him, the formation is unrestricted. Every faction works good with him. As long as you stay with the no more than 3 faction rules, you'll be fine. Next, let us talk about Dracon. He's the best hero to use in the crypt. Just put Gog on and cast Clone on her like there's no tomorrow. Overall, he's a very powerful hero. Just take a look at Z-0. He's using Dracon. But you can only acquire him when you are level 96 or something, if I remember right. Last, I want to talk about Kassandra. You can acquire her in the Assassin's Creed. She works good with those units who will benefit from burn, stun, and bleeding. And she got 2 buffing spells which might help tower units too. Other heroes are either useless in my opinion, or you can only acquire it through real money. And that's not what this video is about, so let's just ignoring them. But before we jump into next topic, there's one last very important thing I want to talk about, which is every hero got this global effects which will affect your units and spells even if they are not on the battlefield. So even if you are not using that hero, you have to upgrade his or her stars until this skill is activated. Don't upgrade the spells, just upgrade the stars. Next, let's talk about the units. Remember, we are playing this game without spending any time, so we don't have the leisure of try everything out. So we have to choose our units wisely. Of course, I know that everybody wants their units full of SSR units or even commanders. But like I said before, our resources are very limited. Unfortunately, we can't afford to invest in too many SSR units or commanders. So we have to make the best of what we got. Therefore, the best option are always the units you could buy straight from the store. But of course, not buying every unit you saw. Some units are better than the others, so you have to say your priority. Now let's have a look with the stores. In the mystical store, there's one place you can buy units. Or maybe I should say there's only one place that you should buy units, which is this one where you could buy with the gold pieces. Remember, never buy any units with the diamonds, never. You save your diamonds only for the SSI units or commanders when the events comes out. Yes, the events. About once a month or so, the Ubisoft will release an event where you could buy specific SSI units or commanders. That's when you put all your long saved diamonds in. Other than that, anything else is not worth your diamond for. Except this casting crystal thingy is for upgrading artifacts, so it's very important to have. Next is the arena store. The must-have is of course the rock. It works good with any faction and you could get it from the arena rewards too. So you could level it up very quickly. So you have to buy it no matter what, as long as you got enough resources. Therefore, all other units listed are needed compared to it. If you got exceeding resources, buy this purple crystal. And if you got 1050 arena coins, refresh the store and buy rock again. Yes, you wasted 50 arena coin in the process, but it's still worth much more than buying other less useful units. But remember never to refresh it when it costs 100 arena coins to do it. That's when it becomes worth it. Everything down below is the token for awakened units. So depending on what units you are playing, buy accordingly. Next is the campaign store. If you are playing Inferno, then buy F30. And if you are playing Wood Elf and Marksman, buy Ice Elemental. And then you should buy these 2 crystals if you got campaign coins left. Again, do the refresh thingy until it costs 100 campaign coins to refresh. Remember, only do the refresh trick when you got more than 1050 coins left. Because if you can't buy anything after you refresh, what's the fucking point of refreshing it? Am I right or am I right? Following up is the artifact store. My recommendation is to buy this Titan standard components until it is at least +2. Then set up to 800 of this everything for prevent orange artifacts. Next is the guild store. In the first 7 days of the game, you save up your resources only for catering. Buy crystal if you still got enough resources after you buy catering. After 7 days, you got Gelu in your disposal. So if you wish to switch to Gelu, then your priority becomes the crystal. Then buy every hero until the universal skill is activated. But if you decide to stay with Catherine, then you still put Catherine in the topmost priority, then the crystal, then the other heroes. Next is champion store. If you are playing Gelu, then buy all available Gelu pieces, and then buy the universal tokens. If you are not playing Gelu, then just buy universal tokens. Only buy other heroes if you got exceeding resources left. In the plan store is all awakened tokens, so buy accordingly. But this crystal thingy is always must have. Everything below is for awakened units, so it's all depend on what units you have been betrayed. But there is one store I want to talk about specifically, which is this sign-in store. It might be tempting to buy all those heroes, but your topmost priority should always be the diamonds. Remember, the diamonds is the most valuable resources of this game. If you want to get any of your SSI unit or commanders stronger, you need diamonds, shitload of diamonds. So anything that will let you exchange for diamonds, it should always be your topmost priority to get it, no matter what. Next, I want to talk about emblems. For any offense units, this Path of Assassin should be always your best choice. And if your formation is concentrated in, say, 2 factions, the defender of the faction with the most units should always get Tyrant's capability as your first choice. All the others all depends on what unit skill is, such as King's Calamity for units that cause burn condition. Axo token for units that cause slow condition. And Jealousy for high crit rate units, etc. And as for the Emblem Store, always only buy orange emblems and only when they are 30% off. And only buy it with the soul stone. Never fucking ever buy it with the diamonds. And you should refresh it between 1 to 5 times until you get these rewards. What's left is just a game of patience. Save your diamonds, wait for the SSI unit or commander's event to come out, and repeat this process over and over and over again. Of course, this is the way to play if you don't want to spend any money in it. If you got money to spare, the strategy is totally different. If you wish me to make a video on how to play with money, please sponsor me by becoming my patron. I'll put a link below. Your support will be my biggest honor and motivation. I'll do a playthrough video next, showing how to play without spending any money. I'll bring you through the progress step by step, so you know what I'm talking about. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.